Jim, why don't you just say a little bit about your story, kind of because you came here and how you started your journey, and
Sure.
then where we're at up to date with Bernie, your sweet mother.
Yes. I'll try and keep it brief because I've already given a full testimony here. So 18 years ago, I found out I had a bladder cancer issue. And prior to that time, I really had no understanding or respect for holistic natural methods. But oddly enough, when I found out I had cancer, by the grace of God, I literally, by His grace, chose to come here. And again, I just have to throw this one in there because 6 or 7 weeks in, I got a letter from from the urologist saying, "Hey, failure to address this surgically will lead to loss of function up to including death." And I remember talking to you that night, and you just smiled and said, "You put that letter in your prayer manual and keep your eyes on God and do what we're telling you to do, and you're going to be fine." And well, it's 18 years later, and I am in fact fine and fairly healthy. And so I just thank God. Literally, Father's grace is just overwhelming in this situation. And then my dear mom has had a couple bouts with cancer, and she was aware of my program here through the years, but the diet was a scary thing. And so she never was really interested in doing that sort of thing. But this past year, when she got her news, once again, by Father's grace, she just wanted nothing to do with chemotherapy. So she did have a surgery done to remove a section of her colon. But we talked about this. I gave her one of the books, from the program. She read most of it and just said, "You know what, I really feel like I want to come here." And to my surprise, she is here, and her oncologist, who is still checking her, was concerned but supportive, and she didn't understand any of this. And I just pointed out, well, I had bladder cancer, and all I did was this, and I'm fine now. And that gave her pause, and she's been supportive of, what my mom's doing. So
and she was very impressed.
yeah,
Of the fact that he's coming here all these years and he's free of cancer. Every time she asked me over and over, "I don't want chemo at all because it's toxic and I will die from chemo." I said, "I've known of so many people that I know, friends, that died from chemotherapy, and I don't want it." So she knew I was very serious about
Right.
that. So now she said, "I will work along with you." She said, "Anything you need to help further this as I come here and everything," because Jim and I told her all about this place, and she was very impressed. And she said, "So we will go however often I have to go for tests. I'm willing to have them and see how I'm doing."
Beautiful. Now, the diagnosis was cancers. What type of cancers?
First I had breast cancer.
And then you had another cancer.
And then that showed up this year in June. I had surgery for that, like Jim said.
the colon cancer.
The
The
colon
colon
cancer.
cancer. And that was stage 3, which is pretty bad. That's 3 and 4 is the
Right.
worst. So, but Jim said, "Mom, I would rather you go to Total Health Institute." He said, "Because I've been free of cancer for so long." He said, "I want you to be free of cancer." So I said, "Okay, Jim, I will go."
And you've done very well. And then you just said you had some tests just done.
Yes, I just had recent tests. November 26th, I had a CAT scan for my lung, and that I was free. There was no cancer showed on that. And my breast, I had breast mammogram the same day, and that was okay. So that's wonderful. And that's with the Lord. This is all with God. Because I talk
Isn't
to
it
Him
beautiful?
every single day. And I ask Him to help me get through each day and help me get through without cancer.
Beautiful. Well, this family is such a testimony. As I told you, Jim, you've touched lives that you don't even know of. And Bernie, you're about to. So thank you so much for sharing. And just before we close, What would the two of you tell someone that was diagnosed with cancer? What would your advice be to them?
Like I have done. I tell them, I just use it for example. I'll say my son talked to me about my cancer, and when chemotherapy was offered to me, I refused it. And I said the best thing would be to do what I did and go to Total Health Institute, because they are great there, and it's working with the Lord. Dr. Nemec works with the Lord, and so do we. And that's why I think we're as good as we are. And that's why I think we're doing this well, because it's all with God.